Okay, I just wanted to make a real quick video on our Eco Diesel. Two primary things I want to highlight. Everything we put this engine through, and this Jeep in particular, and an adjustment I made by removing the turbo resonate delete, aka the turbo muffler, okay? We bought the Jeep in 2014. We drove it across the country in the wintertime, sub-zero on the highway, whatever, to Seattle, and we shipped it to Hawaii. When we lived on the big island of Hawaii, we lived in hot, humid, typical, well, not super hot and humid, but 85 degrees and 80% humidity on average. But on that island, we could drive the Jeep to 13,700 feet, and it might be snowing up there. So the Eco Diesel, we'd load it with people, we'd load it with stuff, we'd drive it up the mountain from hot and humid to 25 degrees, 13,000 and some feet, and 10% humidity, if that, maybe less. And the Eco Diesel always did great. Especially compared to my friend's Tacomas, which are great and everything, but the diesel just did really good. But my biggest complaints were the diesel lag, especially when you're trying to make a left turn and you don't completely stop the Jeep in an intersection. The transmission will sit in second gear. Now, we also had one of these that was a gas, 2014, was it a 3.5, 3.6? Second gear and making a left turn in an intersection was fine. But the diesel, it would just lag to the point where I had to stop the Jeep in the intersection, wait for the transmission to shift down in the first gear, and then get on the throttle and get that boost spooled up. That was a complaint about it, and just the overall kind of a sluggish diesel feel. Recently, we came across the Black Haze Workshop somewhere in Canada, and the part we're shipping was like 80 or 90 bucks, and it replaces this unit. Alright, now you may be thinking, oh, I want to hear my turbo more, so I'll take the muffler off. Well, it doesn't add a ton of sound, but you can actually hear the turbo spooling inside the cabin, but you almost have to tell somebody, here, listen for the turbo. You hear it? Okay, it's still pretty quiet. It's not like the AFE system that opens up your intake and you can actually hear it spooling and popping off a little bit. But we live here in Lake Tahoe now, and we frequently go over the mountain pass. And when it's 100 degrees outside and you're climbing the mountain pass, you can feel turbo lag. And the fuel mileage was pretty good. But with the turbo muffler off now, we've seen about 4 miles to the gallon increase. And there's virtually no lag on the diesel engine. It just bolts right out. You don't get that spike when, what's it, around 1800 RPMs, when you feel the turbo pop and it pulls the air through the muffler. Gone. You just get into the throttle and this thing just bolts out. I want to say it's like a completely new engine, because I don't want you going into the expectations if you put this part on it's like that, but it's pretty fantastic. Climbing the mountain pass from Incline Village, where we live, up the mountain pass, it's like 2,200 feet climb, upwards of 6% grade, down the other side to downtown Reno, so highway and a little stop and go. The Jeep averaged 42 miles to the gallon, which I think is pretty fantastic. I also drive it kind of, not economically, but I don't just lay into it for no reason. I try to drive efficiently. So I would highly recommend it. The part is super easy to install, and maybe about 15-20 minutes. Definitely wait for your intake and everything to be cold, so you can get it on there and you can get it tightened on, so that when the engine gets hot and everything expands, it just creates a nice tight seal. We've had it on for a week now, and I wish I would have put it on the day I bought the Eco Diesel. Alright, any questions, just put them in the comments below, and I'll put a link in there to the website, specifically to the part we put on this Jeep. Okay? Alright, thanks.